Hey, what's up, guys? It's Amar. This is my first ever YouTube tech video, and what's like what what more than to make my first video on June 22nd, which covers the Apple WWDC 2020 event. So, a lot of things happened today. A lot of things got released. A lot of things got revealed. It was such an amazing thing to watch, like what's gonna happen in the future of Apple, the future of the tech industry, how everything's gonna transition towards all the stuff. So we had a lot of major reveals today. I'm gonna cover a little bit on all of it. So first I'm gonna talk about the iOS, Mac OS, and the Apple Watch OS. Then I'll talk about two major big reveals, and I'll just reveal those names when I'm talking about them, not right now, not to spoil any of you guys. So please, guys, if you I enjoy making this is my first time making a video, and I'm just recording this from a phone. So if the video quality and audio quality is not that good, I do apologize for that, but I do hope you enjoy the video. Now let's dive into what happened today. Apple had their yearly developer conference, but this time, due to the pandemic and everything going on out there in the world, it was held virtually. No stage, nothing at all. Just it was kind of like a recorded session for all of the things they tried to explain. But the way they recorded and made the videos, it was amazing. It covered almost everything out. They covered almost everything out there. And they conveyed their message to the world, that what they want to do with the technology and how Apple's going to transition forward. Now let's talk about the iPhone iOS 14 and the iPad OS, as well as the Watch OS. They're kind of I lumped them together into one same category because it's kind of similar feel, similar thing. As also the TV OS that's coming out, that's also kind of a little bit of the same thing. So not a lot of major design UI changes happen in all of the UI. There were minor changes. The iPhone's getting a widget on the home screen stuff, and then some of the things that were in Android are being transitioned towards an iPhone. So I'm really I have used Android before in the past, so I'm not that much looking forward toward the new iOS features out there. There are some cool features like the widget feature, and then the app library, hiding your screens which you don't want to see. That's kind of a cool feature and everything. But the most important feature which I'm looking forward towards is in the Apple Watch OS 7. The ability to create your own faces and share them. That's cool. I know a lot of teenagers who like to be creative with their mind would be creating faces and sharing with their friends and family members. And also you can install faces apart from the Apple Store. If there's I'm not sure if how that's gonna work, but there's kind of some room for it. But most of the time, the creation of the faces is one of the main things that happened in this entire series. So second thing was about the TV OS. It was pretty good. Nothing that major, just little minor changes. But yeah, so far those kind of things which were to expect, developers taking adapting towards design changes and everything. But now the main reveal was two main reveals. One of them was the Mac OS Big Sur. Wow. Loved it. I literally loved it. The OS itself, I loved. How the performance and everything's gonna be optimized. There are a lot of design. It's a complete design overhaul out there. The icons, the way we view the Finder app, the way we view the apps, the photos, everything. They're changing a lot of things, having transition effects and transparency and all of that going on. So you're gonna have rounded corners all over the place, just like an And just like in the iPhone, like rounded corners, every app icon will be a rounded corner and it will be of the same size. That is, like, I like that the most, because a lot of the apps we install from either Mac OS or from third-party software, like third-party companies, they have their own icons and stuff like that, which sometimes are bigger, sometimes are smaller, sometimes they're rounded, sometimes they're complete square, sometimes don't even have any kind of like a perfect shape, but they have their own shape, their own design. I have the dock over here in which like Photoshop icon is rounded, the Illustrator icon is square, the Premiere Pro icon is square, and then I have the Visual Studio Code that's kind of like a hex kind of thing. So it's not one kind of like theme. But now since it's gonna be one theme, then that means that every icon is gonna have the same size, the same length, the width, the same spacing, everything's gonna be the same. So that's gonna be a lot much more easier to a lot much more easier for apps to go on and all, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult to identify the apps. I still sometimes have trouble, still sometimes open up an app accidentally mistaking it for some other app, because there are some apps which the icon color and all that are kind of like 80% are similar, so your brain is like, oh, this is the app, and sometimes we don't even read the text downstairs what's the app is called and then just open it. So that's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve. But now, and the new design of everything having rounded corners, the Finder app, the Mail app, and all of that having a rounded corner, that's kind of like a really good thing. The second major reveal, probably the biggest reveal and the biggest change since 2003 in Apple, or since the PowerPC change in 2003, is transitioning from Intel towards the Apple Silicon. Amazing. We already saw and knew how iPad Pro performed with an A12Z and an A12X, whatever the chip, whatever chip is in there. I pretty much know it's A12X and all that. So yeah, so we saw how it performed. It outperformed almost quite a few number of notebooks or laptop PCs out there which had Intel, and it was just present in an iPad. That same power is coming to the Mac. Just imagine, Apple already has the software. Now Apple already has the hardware. Combination of those two means greater performance, greater battery life, greater thermals, overall smooth, you can have an overall Apple experience. If Apple is controlling it, then it means you're getting an update every year. Since Intel has been lacking a lot in the updates in the processor market, they're still stuck up on the 14 nanometer. Come on, even AMD switched to a 7 nanometer right now, and they're still stuck on the 14, and just releasing a refresh all the time. We don't want that. We want something to keep up to the standard now, and that's what Apple's design is for, and that's why they are moving towards the silicon chip to offer more performance and to offer more performance and more kind of control over their devices. So there is one feature that they unveiled in the iPad OS and iPhone before, but now it's also in the Mac, in the Big Sur, in the Mac OS Big Sur. That is the control center on the top right. Since, if we put some pieces together, icons being redesigned in the iOS and the iPad OS way, control center being present, Finder and other apps are kind of having rounded corners and spacing between them for easier access, and icons. This can be a hint towards the future touchscreen MacBooks or Macs out there. It could be a Pro, it could be the Air, it could be or it could be a complete brand new lineup of MacBooks that's just touch-based MacBooks. Like, just think about it, like control center, icons, similarities between iPad OS, iOS, and now the Mac OS. And since the Mac OS picture will also allow you to run, like it already does, but it's gonna be more optimized to run iPhone and iPad apps on the Mac. And we saw it on the presentation today that they were running the iPad and the iPhone apps on the Mac. So this could potentially lead towards a touchscreen MacBook. The reason why I'm saying is because there are a lot of laptops out there in the market right now which are touchscreen. Like if you take a look at this Dell XPS series, Microsoft Surface Book series, Asus series, like Acer, like almost every Windows branded laptop has a touchscreen model. The only touchscreen model that's lacking is the Mac OS. Maybe this could be a potential hint toward the future of the Apple. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do, but I think it could be hinted. It might not be in right now in a year or two. It could take 4 to 5 years because as they announced, it's gonna take them 2 years, complete 2 years to do a complete transition over towards the new Apple silicon-based processor. So after that transition, they might or start like working, or they might already be working if they have it planned in the future for the touchscreen Macs. But I do hope there's a touchscreen Mac. I'm really looking forward to it, especially having the ability of the Mac OS on a laptop that's touchscreen, where I can just touch and click on the icons, have the horsepower, because even though the iPad is good and stuff like that, but it still does not have a horsepower of, like, you cannot get that core power of a complete desktop or a laptop CPU and have kind of like the apps designed for touchscreens and stuff like that. But with the Apple Silicon, it can happen. Like, they can design apps for the touchscreen, and we can get, like, there's a lot of room for development and future innovation out there, especially with the two-in-one going on, laptop and a tablet, like two-in-one systems out there right now. And I really appreciate the Microsoft doing a really good job on that, but I wish we could have something like that on the Mac. I don't care if it's the MacBook lineup, it's the iMac lineup, or is there a new display that comes out with a touchscreen. No matter what, but at least there should be a one touchscreen Mac to identify what can happen in the ecosystem. It's gonna be amazing. And before I end this video, so they announced that they're gonna be using some Xcode libraries and then Universal 2 virtualization for a smoother transition, and they will be supporting the Intel-based Macs for a number of years in the future. And they're going to be having some new Intel-based Mac updates as well before they do a complete transition. So I'm thinking about 10th gen processor for the MacBook Pro 16-inch, and like 10th gen on the iMac, and then the new Xeon series on the Mac Pro and the iMac Pro. So let's see what they have in the future. But yeah, they're going to be releasing some new Intel-based Macs before they move towards silicon, towards the Apple Silicon, and we'll see how it goes. But today's demonstration was entirely done on the Apple own Mac Mini, which has an A12Z processor with the 16 gigs of RAM. Amazing. Like, I couldn't tell the difference, that whether it was actually that Mac that they were working on in all that. Like, that was amazing. And the way they introduce the Maya models, and the way they introduce the Final Cut Pro, Maya, and all the Adobe Photoshop, and like Lightroom, like the way the videos and everything, it's really damn good. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that it's something possible in the future as well. So guys, let's see what happens with this, but I'm really looking forward towards the new transition towards the Apple Silicon and trying that out. The Mac Mini developer kit is gonna be available within a week. So like for all developers out there, you can order like the developer kit. It has a Mac Mini. It comes in a Mac Mini with 512 gigs of SSD drive, 16 gigs of RAM, and an 812 GB chip for the developers to start developing for the native Mac silicone chips. But for consumers, they are planning to release the first Apple Silicon Mac by the end of this year. So we are probably going to be expecting somewhere between November or December. It's not going to be in the fall, because in the fall they might go with the iPhone. They might go with the iPhone and stuff like that. But they might make an announcement in the fall that there's going to be this is going to be the Mac. The Mac's going to be called this, but then release, like, have it available by the end. So well guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, please do subscribe, and I'll try my best to cope up with the new tech videos on daily basis. I'm gonna cover in the future some of the features of the iOS and all the features of the Big Sur as soon as I get onto it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, liked it, and keep yourself safe in this pandemic. Have a great day, and see you next time.